Can someone please explain to me what the is this? Oh.
First off, bitch, mind your
What is this?
Bad bitch every day like Christmas. Attitude, don't fuck you, pay me. It take more than a Bentley today. Got me fucked up.
Those people. All right, that's enough with the music, but let's be real. First off, what the is that? And real quick, the first thing I think about when I look at this is that must stink. It must stink to some capacity. How do you even wash that? How do you properly wipe, sit down, do anything that's worth doing that's not gonna get in the way? On a plane, look at these people outside the store. They're even like, yo, what is that? I'm not even gonna talk about the hair, cause but that shit look like it'll eat a dog. There's no way it's comfortable to drive or anything. Ew. Even if you was hitting this, like how would you even maneuver? Yeah, that shit look like it stink. You need to go through a car wash with that. I don't know what people be thinking, but I feel like women like this that do this shit to their bodies, they just stress out the Lord.
But there's nothing to grab, so I let go. I think I finally had enough. I think you're bullshit.
And if you got everything, do not marry into a family where the people have nothing. Listen to me. I'm gonna say it again. If you have everything, if you got the job, you got the money, you got the spirituality, you have the faithfulness, you have the morals, you have the values. If you have all that, do not marry into a family where that is lacking in mass. PSA, because you're going to be the odd man out. And because it's mostly us, we're mostly the ones that come with it all, and then we try to fix them. It don't work. Listen, if they don't have a firm foundation, you're not going to last, because you're coming into the situation as a threat where people lack morals, they lack financial stability, they lack a sane state of mind. When you come in logical, rational, got your money together, you like to travel, you like to do this, and you have your own plan and your own trajectory, and those people are envious of that, you will not prosper. Your relationship cannot prosper in an environment like that, because they're going to see you as an op. And once you are the op to the people that he needs to be freed from, good luck.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
I've got the magic in me. Every time I touch that
You do realize that men can do a whole lot more damage than you. However, when it comes to double standards, women can absolutely get away with a whole lot more than men. Case in point.
A woman's main embarrassment will always be a man.
Interesting. And while I can see where some of them are coming from in regards to this, it seems that some women have their priorities all wrong in regards to what they really should be embarrassed about. Some of their attitudes, which seem to be overly entitled in many cases with an overly diluted sense of grandeur.
Hi, we need to make men more uncomfortable these days.
No!
We need to start asking them these type of questions. How much money do you make? Why after 2 divorces do you think you're still a cat? Why are you bald? Why haven't you got...
Should men do the same thing? What if men started asking women on the first date how much count they have? Or why you have wrinkles? Or why you have grays? Or any other question that would make you feel self-conscious? I don't understand why it's even considered acceptable to ask someone how much money they make just because you're on a date with them. Would you go up to some random stranger on the street and be like, how much money do you make? No! How about we normalize treating men with basic respect? And not dating men that we're not interested in?
See, the difference between me and you, mother, if my girl ever did that trend in front of the server being like, oh, can I get the cheesecake? Can I please get the cheesecake, to make me feel like she's scared? I would tell that right in front of the server, right? I'd be like, no, you pig, you can't get the cheesecake, actually. You need to lose weight, and we talked about this. I would double down on it because she thinks I'm a right? I'm a double down on it. You want to try some around me, something that you think is funny? Yo, I'm doubling down. I'm calling you a moose in front of the server.
I just don't understand how modern women are complaining that men aren't doing as much anymore. They have the same toxic masculinity as the older generation, but they don't know how to do anything. Are you joking? Do you not have the ability to look in the mirror? We have the exact same expectations for men that we've had for like 100 years. But now as women, we believe that we don't have to do anything for them in return. Nothing. If we have a husband, he better work his off to support us. But if he asks us to clean the house and cook him meals, that's a slave. At some point, you gotta stop blaming men for absolutely everything and just like look in the mirror for once, because we are not perfect, like at all. So maybe men are chasing us less and doing less things for us because we don't deserve it. Maybe that's why. Not all of us, not all women, but a lot of them nowadays. Thank you.
Does a man's income determine how much respect he gets in a relationship?
Depends on the woman. I think for a woman that is more shallow, absolutely. Actually, I feel like for society, absolutely. There are things that when you have money, you can buy bad character. People will allow you to get away with being a terrible human. Oh, because they have this car. Oh, because they tip well. Oh, because they're buying everybody shots, but they're a horrible human. And that's good for those people. But for me, there's not a level. I will respect people because people deserve respect, period. Right. But respecting as my partner, you've got to be at my level or higher.
Right.
For my partner. And not that I would give you respect, but that I would trust your lead. That's probably a better way to answer it.
Right.
Because if I'm ahead of you, I don't want to slow down for you to pass me up.
I hope they make more of these planners. They are so cute. This one has a variety of boxes for your mental health. As you can see here, your self-love for the day, what you're grateful for. I feel like focusing on this type of stuff can really help. Today I want to remember, it's kind of like a journal and it has a beautiful outside. It's high quality paper that doesn't bleed. And you gotta love the wire binding so you can flip it around just fine. And then you have the workout, weight loss, or your goals for your body planner. Again, it's absolutely beautiful. You can plan your meals, your workouts, and everything. And then you have this side with your water intake, your vitamins, everything. And both planners have stuff in the beginning where you can like set your goals for the year or 2 years or however you want to do it. But I feel like stuff like this is so much easier than using an app because you can see your progress and you can look back on the pages and you can also take more notes. Some apps don't let you take extra notes.
These are 5 habits of long-term successful couples. Number 1, they've learned how to fight, meaning they know how to express their feelings, their needs, their boundaries without tearing each other down. They don't avoid hard conversations. They've simply learned how to navigate them with respect, clarity, and emotional control. They argue with each other, not against each other. 2, they forgive each other without keeping score. They do not turn mistakes into ammunition to be used later. They do not tally who apologized last or who messed up more. Instead, they let go, they move forward, and they trust that their partner is doing the best that they can. 3, they say thank you and I'm sorry easily and often. They do not make appreciation or accountability a rare event. 4, they respond generously to each other's bids for attention. When one of them reaches out, whether that's asking for a cuddle, sharing a meme, or just venting about their day, the other one is there. And they make it seem like they want to be there because they do. Lastly, number 5, they stay playful, they don't take each other that seriously, and they never stop dating.
Let's ruffle some feathers, because there are some. Well, actually, I should say that there are more than some out there that are in serious need of a reality check, if not 2. Because there are a great many out there that seem to believe genuinely that the best way to combat hate and prejudice is with more hate and prejudice. I know. It rather boggles the mind, doesn't it, that there could be so many out there that are so, shall we say, willfully ignorant, or possibly just uneducated on how not only history works, but also humanity as well. Because for those that do think that being hateful to another person is actually going to solve a problem, please explain to me what exactly that is supposed to accomplish. I can't wait to hear it, and I'm sure that many of us would love the wonderful learning experience that that would present.
And I know these modern women like to talk about the things that they're willing to accept and what they're not willing to accept. And it's crazy that some of them say something along the lines of, my ex set this standard. He did this for me. He did that for me. And, you know, you got to come up to this, and this. And there's a whole bunch of nonsense going on. Right. But they're not talking about how they fumbled a guy. They fumbled a good guy like that. And now they're expecting all the other guys to measure up. When you you misused what you had. Whatever you had, you did dirty. Why would we trust you to do better by somebody that's better, quote unquote, in your eyes? So you can fumble and mess that up too?
Modern women today give themselves the benefit of the doubt too often in relationships. That is why you're walking into relationships entitled, privileged, and arrogant. Because you honestly expect someone to give you the benefit of the doubt when you are hypercritical of men. Many of you ladies sit around and can't wait till a dude does something wrong so you can say, see, there it is. But let you do something wrong, don't want to talk about it. Let a man forget to call you or don't holler back at you on a certain time. Then all of a sudden it's like, here come the 50 questions. But let you don't do something, let you miss something. Then all of a sudden, I don't want to talk about it. You're making me feel bad. How is it that you ladies can up? And then the man brings it to your attention and wants to talk about how you screwed up. You know you screwed up, but then he's responsible for how you feel about you screwing up. Get the out. No, ladies, that works with most men. But over here, high value men get the benefit of the doubt.
I genuinely believe that every single woman deserves to receive $10,000 a month from her husband, from her boyfriend, whoever you're with, just for him to show his appreciation for you.
$10,000 a month for appreciation. Right.
And I think that is a standard that all men should be held to.
Of course they do. It's always those that seem to have excess money that are always very free with everyone else's. But it kind of makes a person wonder, what about those individuals that necessarily can't afford that $10,000 a month?
And as a man, if you cannot hold yourself to that standard, then you should not be dating at all, honestly. I mean, you're just not financially ready to provide. You're not ready to be in the scene.
The scene. Indeed. And for those who haven't done the math yet, that comes to approximately 120,000 American dollars per year just to, in some cases, just date some of these women.
And even more importantly, you're just not ready to get married yet.
There is nothing classier, after all, than someone with a classist mentality. But gentlemen, here's a reminder. A woman that genuinely cares about you is going to want you to invest your money in something that is important, long-lasting, and for the future, not just to spend it on them.
Oh, he remembers, and that's why he's not willing to play games. Because he also knows there's other women out there. And if he feels like he has to kiss your feet 24/7, and you're not reciprocating or treating him good, he's not gonna put up with that long term. Men aren't gonna chase or compete for you. He knows if he's in a steady relationship with you, he should get the benefit of being in a relationship with you. Not have to earn it 24/7. Not have to constantly worry that you're gonna go behind his back. And when you have this mindset, it kills connection. Because you're signaling to him, you're replaceable. Remember that. And you're less likely to invest in the relationship because, again, you think in abundance as far as dating goes. That means you're not appreciating and loving the little things about him that make him unique. The things that bring value into your life. That's why we see some women go through a tough relationship and then they break up with him, or he breaks up with her, and then they're miserable and full of regret long term because they didn't appreciate what they had. And I've noticed a lot of women that say stuff like this, they think they're a massive prize, but then the man literally just has to find a woman that's nice to him to upgrade, and it's that simple.
Sometimes the easiest way to truly offend another person is actually to treat them as a genuine equal, and to hold them to the same standards that a person would hold any other person in society to. What do you mean by that? I'm sure a lot of you are wondering. Well, there are some, or rather I should say a lot of individuals out there that seem to think that by virtue of a fact they hold a certain characteristic or characteristics, that they don't have to follow the same rules the rest of us do. That they are in fact entitled to special treatment and special consideration for having these characteristics. For example, there are some out there that will hate on and disparage entire groups of people because they happen to be of one particular demographic themselves, and therefore it's considered to be acceptable or in some way justified that they should do so. But if you point out that that is not what makes a good person, and that someone shouldn't generalize an entire group of people, they get rather angry. I wonder why that is. So like I said, treat them as equals and hold them to the same standards and see how quickly they get upset.
People talk about pretty girl privilege, but they don't talk about the pretty girl curse.
Oh, break that down.
Okay, so the pretty girl curse is a real thing when you're looking to really work, and you get the pretty girl curse, which is where a lot of times men who are in position to give you these opportunities will always try to sleep with you.
That's one part of it.
Yeah, and then it's like almost like a blackmail thing where it's like now, they're feeding off of your ambition and they're trying to manipulate you or putting all these things like you got to do this or do that and da-da-da. It's very traumatizing.
Yeah.
It's traumatizing.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And you know what? I think there's that aspect of things of how people, it's like they want to look at you and use you, but they don't necessarily want to love you.
Oof.
Because the goal is ultimately, how do I capture this person? How do I conquer this instead of how do I love this? How do I keep this? How do I treasure this?
How do I help it blossom?
Yes.
Nourish it?
Yes.
Yeah, so the pretty girl curse is a real thing that I feel like, for me, it deterred me from the industry a lot because it was always like these blockages of like, things that were not in honor to my integrity, things that I was not willing to do.
Yeah.
So, I had to let that go. And I feel so great to be back here in this space.
Yes.
And
doing it our way.
The average American man in 1960 was 5'9" 3/4", 5'10", and he weighed 165 pounds. The average American female at the same time was 5'4", 120 pounds. Fast forward 55 years later, the average American man was still 5'10", and his weight had ballooned up from 165 to a whopping 168. He gained 3 pounds in 55 years. Yet the average American woman went from 120 to 160, a 40-pound differential. There should roughly be a 40 to 45-pound differential between men and women. The average height of a black woman, average weight of a black woman in this country, 5'4", 187. 80% of you are overweight, and you think because you have a nice snatched waist and a big ass and you like where the fat landed, it changes the way the body is set up. You're overweight for your height. And bottom line, you weigh more than a man.
I don't weigh more than the man I date.
If a man was your height, you would weigh more than he does. You weigh more than the average American male who's 5'10". Did you not hear me say that the average man is 5'10", 168? You weigh more than the average man in this country.
And the average man in this country is in my
average man in this country. And you can have all your defiant attitude and not like it and challenge the BMI and the racial disparity, whatever. Doesn't matter. You're overweight for your height.
I am, and I'm fine as.
Well, good. Knock it out.
And I would say one of the worst parts about all of the stuff going on in dating is that modern women, they be wanting their ex back. They be talking about the things they're not going to take and all that other stuff. And they be wanting a do-over. They want a do-over. But men are saying, nah, man, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. You think that you can leave? You think that you can do your thing and just come back whenever you want to? But you come back to a locked house. You come back to the door being closed and the man done moved on. That man is happy now. And you got to sit with the fact that you messed up something and you can't undo it. You had a good thing going on. And you mess it up for God knows why. He don't think about you like that. He don't think about you at all. And that's tough for you to accept. And that's when you say you want to settle. That's when you say you got to settle. Oh, I ain't settling for these men. No. With the way that you act, these men would be settling for you. They giving you a chance with your bad attitude.
Can we all talk about Father Mike Schmitz?
I showed him to a girlfriend who's not Catholic, and she's like, when's Mass?
What about the man need? That's just a cultural narrative that basically says men are like animals and they have to be able to do this thing, otherwise they're going to go crazy. And the reality is there's whole vocations that are celibate, and these are virile men's men. Some of the most masculine of men I know are priests. We need food. We need air to breathe. We don't need It's a gift of coming together, and it's designed to bring life into the world.
I think the sexiest thing about a guy is like their self-control. And my husband has amazing self-control. So after baby number 4, when we started practicing NFP, it was like we couldn't do it sometimes when we wanted to. And that kind of made things a little steamier, like not gonna lie. It's hard on him too, don't get me wrong. People will say, well, oh, do you just do other things for your husband?
You went to college?
Yeah, my degree. It's in social work.
Right. So you went to school. Do you have student loan debt?
Yes, I do.
So what you're telling me is you went to school to go into debt, to go to work, to when you find a husband, you just say, now you pay all that debt. It was useless then. Why go to college and get into all that debt if you're not going to use it?
No, that's what I'm saying. I want to use my degree. So my plan is, of course, structured around family planning when I get ready to have a child, to just have money saved up so that I'm able to pay that debt off. Because
pay that debt off with whose money though?
With mine.
How? Ma'am, social work. You're not balling. You get married, get pregnant, you don't want to work anymore. There's no more money coming in from you. How you gonna pay off a debt?
What I was saying was I wanted to plan for a family.
Again, saving whose money?
Saving my money, Kevin.
How much are you making right now?
Right now, I make about $2,000 a month.
Lady, you're broke. That's $24,000 a year. You have to be living at home with mama or something. Okay, reality check time. You have no plan. And if you do have a plan, it's a bad one. How much is your student loan debt?
About $100K.
$100,000 in student loan debt to be a social worker? Ain't nobody gonna marry that.
God damn! Yeah. She walks in the room, all eyes on her. Confidence so strong, a force to observe. Hard to get, they say. Love's a game to play. Beautiful and bold, she takes a breath away. It's giving confidence, it's giving queen. She knew the assignment, she living a dream. She's living a dream. She's living a dream. She's living a dream. She's living a dream.
She was real. I lost her, but it's like you can't. If 80 million still want you.
This girl gets it, all right? Go watch her whole video when you're done here. She's talking about this whole thing. Also, I'm selling something. TikTok makes you sell things. I don't even know if it works. I'll tell you later. She's talking about this whole dynamic. What she's saying is that she wants one of these green lines, a relationship where she is a keeper and where a guy, if he is to lose her, is going to say, oh no, I lost something valuable. But when she picks a certain class of guy, and she names athletes in particular, he has so much access to whatever he wants that he doesn't miss her, which is a lower grade of relationship. She figured it out just the same way I did. She says, I hate dealing with fine men and men with money. Those are the two things, fineness and money. And then she says, these guys never learn their lesson because they have too many options. She hits all the beats. It's all in there. Watch the whole thing. Okay, so I gotta shill this stuff real quick. It says it's good for hormones. There's instructions for women and men on the back, but it says it also takes a month to work, so I can't even tell you if I like it. Do your research. So pretty much this girl articulates every beat that I have been trying to articulate with this, which is great. Maybe the world is healing, but then also maybe not, because if you go to the comments, the top one is don't hate the player, hate the game, and she hates that, and so do I. I hate everything. We've been saying that since at least the 90s. And then there's I love being handsome for real, and he looks like this, which is, I mean, that guy's doing fine. And then this guy says, I gotta get money, my God, good luck. So yeah, it's a girl saying the same thing I've been saying, and girls listen to girls more, so spread the video around, and I guess buy yam oil if you want to do a wacky hormone experiment, I don't know.
You talked about how more women than men don't want marriage. What about having sex? Are women less interested in sex or men less interested in sex?
What I sense happening is women, the ones who are 1 in 3 men, is not having sex versus 1 in 5 women over the last 12 months. So there are more sexless men, but of the men who are having, they're having very many more partners.
Why are there more sexless men than women?
Because they're not doing as well in society. When you look at college campuses, right, because the ratio is so much skewed in favor of men in that there are so few men on campus versus women. Like in terms of university to get successful, they are much more attractive. So they can set the bounds in terms of how soon they want to be having, whether or not they will commit to someone, whether or not they will invest in a partner. And so that's why we see this with women. They're, like I said, they're all fighting for this smaller pool of highly successful men. And those men are not really incentivized to settle down.
Any woman that says some dumb, like, if I'm too much, go find less, it's because she's actually too much. Let me explain. Some of these women think that they have so much to bring to the table and they offer so much in a relationship, but they don't. They're not anything special. They're not anything good. And they actually need to not be in relationships and need to go heal. They get into relationships expecting these men to be like fixer-uppers, to be Joanna Gaines and fix their insecurities while they simultaneously break men down to the level that they're at. And they don't think that's too much. These women thrive in chaos and want to argue every 3 days because they don't know how to just be secure and calm in a relationship or comfortable. So they're going to fight and start random fights and make up narratives in their head to make you feel like the lesser person. And it's too much every single day to be arguing about some dumb. Some of y'all nag way too much. You'll nag about every little thing without realizing that he's putting efforts in other places that still make the relationship work. Y'all want to focus so much on negativity, but you can't understand why he doesn't crave you the same or look at you the same way or treat you the same way. How do you expect a man to crave you when you don't show any excitement or enthusiasm about him like you used to? And some of y'all want to be so freaking annoying by asking your man 1,000 times a day what's wrong when he gets silent, but sometimes he needs time to work out and process things, and he doesn't express himself the exact same way that you do, and now you're mad and you think he's cheating and you think that there's another woman and you want to check his phone 10 times a day every day to catch him doing something wrong when you're basically projecting your past of somebody that cheated on you onto him, and you can't understand why he's upset or why he doesn't talk about anything. Some of y'all need to let that man breathe and understand that he's still a human being. He's still going to be going through it, and it doesn't mean that he wants to talk about it. It has nothing to do with you, and you need to stop taking it so personal. And the real problem is that some of y'all think that just because you don't cheat means that you're a good partner in a relationship, and some of y'all really suck and need to appreciate your man better. Okay, bye.
And you know, another thing is that you hear a lot of these modern women, forever girlfriends, right? They in a relationship for a long time with a man, 4, 5, 6 years, right? Still no ring. Finally asking themselves, why am I not? What's going on? What are we doing? Well, he probably don't see you as wife material, right? So maybe he not ready, but maybe it also might be that you haven't shown him that you're actually wife material. Now, I agree that he should be a man about it and say, hey, I'm not feeling this, and y'all go y'all separate ways. True enough. But also, if he's going to do that, you should also have some accountability and awareness and say, am I not ready? Is there something that I'm not doing? Am I not who I say that I am? And really have that hard conversation with yourself. I know that's a hard pill to swallow, but most modern women won't do it. Most modern women won't take accountability for what they are and what they are not. And they stay in the same place because they're not willing to have any self-awareness and fix their problems.
Hey, how you doing? You trying to just come? Yeah, what's the secret? Well, I don't mean no disrespect, but I like hood niggas. I'm trying no boys. You know the ones with that money, and you working 9 to 5, you take less from me. I mean, just look at me. It's getting very high class. I'm a good dude, though. I mean, ooh, see, this is talking about like right here, dark skin too. What you doing tonight? Do whatever you want to do.
2 years later.
Hey, you thought hollering at me like 2 years ago? What's up? Let me get your number. Yeah, I remember you. Where you and old dude? You left me off the first time. I hate to hear that. Yeah, but I'm looking for something real now. I need somebody good, somebody working 9 to 5. So what's up? I'm straight on it. I got a girl. I'm cool, man. Oh my, please, come on. I need somebody good. Like, look, you got it going on. I need somebody good. No, you need somebody to help you take care of them kids. That's what you need. I need a good man. Like, no, that's I need a good man now. Yeah, I bet you do need a good man now. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
I've answered this one before, but I'll do it again. She says, I know I ended it, but why won't you chase after me? Sam asked me to explain for his rock brain, and Carly is pretending not to want the attention. I very commonly illustrate the difference between the conscious and the subconscious mind. My understanding of how these interact is why I have a career. This is the first time I ever drew it. I drew a small pipe going between the subconscious and conscious minds of men, and a large one in between the women, subconscious and conscious, and she expects him to have these connected, and he doesn't. And he's confused. It also works like this. They say they want X and you give them X and they don't want it. It also works like this. You can say a bunch of different things and then she reacts to one aspect of one of the things as if it's all you ever say. I still don't know what to call this. I called it smoothness on zones 2, and on zones 3 I called it smooth to save room. So in my opinion, women act more from the subconscious than men do. Many things in here. There's only 4 in there. 5. So if you are going to understand subconscious behavior in her, you have to understand it in you as well by doing a lot of this with your free time. The best example I ever gave of this is, have you ever had a friend say, let's go out for a beer, and then you said, nah, I don't want, I'm going to stay home, and he went, okay, bye. And then you thought, well, wait a minute, you're not even going to try? I'm not important to you? That is a quiet little thought you have in the back of your mind, and men tend to ignore those. When we do have those thoughts, they don't make it into the conscious mind as often because we have this little mind pipe. But for women, they do, and they kind of expect us to be that way too. So when men see this kind of behavior, they tend to just go, I would never act like this. It doesn't make sense. Except that it does make sense from the emotional mind, but you're ignoring it because you're not considering that to be a real part of your mind. So if you want to figure these things out, all you have to do is admit the feelings that you have. They don't have to be in charge. They don't even have to make sense. You just have to go, I had a feeling. And then you can recognize when other people have them, but don't say it. I think a lot of guys are worried about being called weak. Basically, I had a feeling is forbidden, but you don't even have to admit that you had a feeling. You just have to know that you did. This is a thought bubble. So when you have feelings in the lower brain, all you do is notice it and then admit it and maybe write it down in a journal. And then this part of your brain records it and now has power over feelings. And then you become able to know her better than she knows herself. So Sam, if you want to soften your rock brain, all you have to do is connect the rational man part to the feelings female part. It's not easy, but it is simple. Just do that a lot.
Some of these dudes in the comments clearly did not understand the purpose of the video, so let me just explain it to you. The point was me saying, if you ask me what I did today, and I tell you a full day's worth of activities that I did that are important to me, and your response is, oh, I should have said something sooner so I could have seen you today. What you are telling me is that you do not take my life seriously, and you do not consider the things in my life and the things I spend my time doing important, which also tells me you don't take me seriously. You consider yourself above the things in my life before we are even at the stage of a relationship. Now, yes, if I'm dating someone, I would be willing to make some sacrifices and adjust my schedule to see them. But we are getting to know each other, and your response is to disregard the things I do as if there are not goals I'm reaching and achieving. Is something you are correct, I'm very unattracted to. So if it's easier to stay single than to plan a date, that is great, do that. But me, because I'm so busy, yes, when I'm getting to know someone, I like when a man takes initiative and plans ahead and asks if he can call me. That's okay, it's just my preference.
Woman goes through her man's phone while he sleep. She checks the messages, social media, everything. He wakes up and finds out. Now he's upset. So the question is she wrong? Or being in a relationship mean there should be no secrets?
Was he mad at? That she found something?
No,
or that
did you see? That's from how women, y'all are, see how your brain, I didn't say anything about any of that. You're talking about. Well, I specifically said a woman goes through her man's phone while he sleep. She checks his messages, social media, everything.
That's
he wakes up and finds out.
Okay. So is
she wrong, or there shouldn't be no secrets in the relationship?
Yes and no. Yes and no. There should be no secrets in a relationship. Facts. Okay. Mm-hmm. Are you in a relationship or are you married?
Relationship.
If you're just dating, you probably shouldn't be going through anybody's phone.
A relationship or marriage, you shouldn't be going through it.
I mean, unless you have reason. Do you have reason to go through it or not?
Is she wrong or not?
If she felt like he wasn't being honest about something and she needed to find out if she was about to get an from some other woman, I guess she could have gone through it. I don't know. But obviously going through someone's phone is an idea, but it also it's not good if she thinks something's going on and he's not being honest. And how many men are going to be like, what's up? Are you good? You got something going on? Yeah, babe, actually, I just got a naked photo from a girl that I met that I gave my number to. How many men are going to say that?
How many women can handle the honesty?
I don't know.
Okay.
So
no, it's not. I just want to ask.
Really, honestly, if I'm asking and I genuinely want to know, then yeah, I would want to know.
And then if he told you the honest truth, hey,
at least you told me. Now we can talk about it.
And we have data to show that more women than men are single because they simply cannot find someone they are interested in dating.
Data matters. Perspective also matters. It can make data look different. So are men not good enough or are women too picky? It's a matter of perspective as long as you include the facts. Let's see how she does.
A world where more and more men are single because women do not want to date them is a world that's very dangerous for women.
So something bad has happened to women, but not men.
College-educated women are the group most likely to say they are single because they can't find someone that meets their expectations.
So educated women have it worst. Still no mention of anything here.
And I can hear the men in my comments now saying, see, it's women's fault. They have too high of expectations.
Okay, so men are suffering from unreasonable standards.
But let me remind you, women have always entered into marriages with the expectation that it is going to materially improve their lives.
Oh, no, never mind. No material.
We needed husbands for financial security, and now women are doing better than men. We are more educated, we are stable on our own.
Okay, so women did a good thing. They're out there working hard and beating the pants off of men, all by themselves. So what good are men?
When you don't financially need a husband or a partner, you can say, I'm not going to get a partner until I find one that's emotionally supportive, emotionally intelligent.
Okay, and what do you give back?
Doesn't need me to be his therapist and his mom.
Okay.
Doesn't need me to do all the childcare, all the housework.
Those complaints sound familiar.
And men will tell you that these expectations are just simply too much.
Well, to be honest, it sounds like you wanted equal rights, no obstacles between you and success, and when you got it, you still weren't making the same amount of money, and you didn't like that, so you had the government write a bunch of laws to preferentially put you in college and employment, so you don't need men anymore, except for taxes. So now you're getting no material benefit, especially if you went to college. So now you don't need men except for emotional support, but you don't want to be his therapist. Did I leave anything out?
I fear for escalating retaliation and also in legislative and policy decisions.
Oh, how could I forget? So let's recap. You wanted equality, and you got it, but you still made less money, so you had the government fix it. So now that things are equal, men are not good for anything except emotional support, which they do not deserve. And the men who don't like this are dangerous. How can they not see that bad things only happen to you, despite all of your hard work paving roads and fighting wars? So yeah, I think this is a little much. Pause if you would like extra blood pressure.
That's why I worry about retaliation of men who cannot make it worth it for women to want to date and marry them.
This whole situation is like having my car towed and then saying, "Why are you late?" But I guess pointing that out makes me a dangerous failure, which really should give you a clue about this, but still does not. If you're gonna insist on having these, it would be nice if you could at least admit that they're there.